Hello everyone, this is our fourth battle report. Myself versus Mark, playing on the Navillian Warzone map, Mission A, Fallout, which is the 3 droid tokens. My list is 2 units of elite stormtroopers, 1 heavy stormtrooper unit, the Grand Inquisitor, Agent Blaise, Zillo Technic, and Mark's is Temporary Alliance, Devious Scheme, Beast Tamer for his upgrades, C3PO Gideon, regular HK, Hired Gun, Tusken Raider, Elite Nexu, and a Bantha Rider. And Mark is still new to the game, just like a lot of the other people that play at the shop. Everyone's buying it at the moment, jumping on the bandwagon, so sort of more of a learning type game, but even though I've been playing for a little while now, I still learn new things I didn't know before. So the doors to the command room are locked, defense 0, health 10, and the doors out in the open are unlocked. So Imperial first turn, the red troopers are activating, just going to try and take some damage on the door. First one does 4. And with the elite heavy troopers having that surge 2, it really does question whether taking the regulars over the elites, because the elites are just far better. But I suppose if you want a true trooper spam, having 5 squads of regulars, but that 3 points of health each don't really go a long way. So Mark's first turn. Just doing C3PO, focusing. So then the heavies move up. There's only one health left on this door, so that heavy trooper will just take it out, and it does. And being speed 3 really does hurt the heavies. If I had one more space, I could have got to that terminal, but maybe my placement wasn't as good. I should have probably counted that before, but it doesn't matter. And then the next heavy is just gonna jump over to support that other red trooper. So Gideon, on my mark, the Bantha, and focuses the other HK. And at this point, I decided to pass. Mark's got a lot more activations than I do, and I played my Imperial list before, and having very few activations, you really have to, I guess, plan and wait for the opponent to move towards you, I guess. But that's one downside of having sort of a elite-ish list, is that you're going to be outmaneuvered on a lot of occasions. So Mark's just counting out his Beast Tamer move. If he can Beast Tamer, then move with the Bantha, then attack that Stormtrooper, which he can do it, but he's just deciding if he wants to attack or go for the objective, which he moves up. He's still thinking. I think he's deciding if he wants to trample it or just go for a straight attack, and he plays size advantage, which is +2 damage and stun. And I think he's in a bit 2 minds there, so he just moved back and he's just weathering to do it, and yeah, decides to try and hold that corridor. And rolls absolutely dreadful, and the Stormtrooper rolls perfect block. Well, 3 blocks, the best he can roll, and just does 1 damage and a stun. So, not too good for the Bantha Rider. They are really Alpha Strike, or they can be Alpha Strike, but when you whiff for them, it really does hurt. And the Inquisitor's eyeing that Bantha Rider up now, because all my red troopers, heavies, have activated. So I think the Inquisitor is the only thing that could hold that corridor. I think if once the Bantha's down, the Inquisitor can just roam free and just kill whoever he wants. Really, there's really like no character that can, in this list I'm playing against, that can stop the Inquisitor. Maybe the HKs, if both of them get 2 good shots on him, that can take him down very quickly. But the Bantha Rider is going to take a fair few turns of just constant attacking and stomping and etc. Now Mark's deciding whether to hurl those Tusken Raiders forward. They are mainly close combat based, but their shooting isn't too bad. They've got a blue and a red, so shooting isn't terrible, but they are designed for close combat. So he charged him into the Inquisitor, trying to at least maybe do some damage on him, or just to slow him down. Because once the Inquisitor just has one target at a time, he can really chew through him. But a Bantha Rider's a bit different to that exception. If it was one Tusken Raider at a time, he can chew through him, but you really have to either ignore him or swamp him and try and kill him straight away. So I think Mark wants to kill the Inquisitor rather quickly, and from my experience of playing with him, you probably should, because he's actually, for 9 points, I think he's a bargain for what he can do. Especially with that saber throw, when you get his card, he is devastating. So now he's deciding whether to pounce up the nexu or move the hired guns around and open doors, which I think that's their main purpose. A lot of people really rate hired guns. I still don't see it. After playing them a bunch of times, I still don't see why people rate them. Like when they die, they get that last shot, which is, I guess, useful, but being 4 points for 2 of them, it was 4 points to 3. I could see using them because they had disposable, so they don't get the dodge, which was one of the biggest benefits for white dice. So I still don't see them. Someone please tell me how to use them. I've got a few of them and I haven't played with them yet, but I've seen them played and played against them, and I just don't see how effective they are, or how they can be effective. So Blaise is moving up just to mainly hold that terminal. Then I thought I can shoot the door, try and get an interrogate. So all I need is to roll 1 surge. When you're rolling 2 yellow and a green, you should at least get that. So yep, definitely get that. So I could look at his 1 card, and it was take initiative. And I thought, yeah, I probably should get rid of that, discard that card. So I discard single purpose, which in this list doesn't really matter. I'm not sure why I've got it in there, because there isn't many special abilities to do twice. So I think I might swap that out for something else. Now it's the Nexu's activation. Locked doors just stop their whole purpose, which is speed and the pouncing ability, and especially elite ones when they have the built-in cleave. That door wasn't there, he would pounce into that room and cleave a whole bunch of stormtroopers, but unfortunately, or fortunately for me, that door's stopping a very big threat. Elite Nexus, or Nexus in general, for swarmy type lists, like a lot of infantry, you don't want to see one of those staring you down. So he pounced the door, does 5 points of damage, and just deciding whether to move back. At this point, I reminded Mark that he had focused on his nexu, so he rolled the additional die and came up a surge, which he used his surge ability and took out the last damage on the door. It's a surge, and the door's gone. And hello to all the stormtroopers inside. So now he basically just has to tie up the stormtroopers for a little bit, just keep them occupied with the nexu. If the nexu wasn't there and the troopers could just roam free into the or control that room and then move into the center of the map, it would be really Mark would be in a very, very bad spot. So activating blue stormtroopers. First one moves up and stays next to his trooper friend. And I reroll that die, and the best possible thing you can get for elite stormtrooper. So 5 damage on the Bantha. One trooper opens the door and jumps on the terminal. Other trooper goes into heavy cover and tries to have a pot shot at one of the HKs, which you want to try and take out at least 2 damage on HK as soon as possible. And another good roll. Doing a few damage to that HK. Now deciding just to jump back behind that terrain, just so HKs can't just pop out, do a sneaky shot. They have to move around it now if they want to shoot those two stormtroopers. Now Mark's just plotting out where his HKs want to go, so he moves up. And he wants to do a round the corner shot at Blaise, which is probably a good choice. He's fairly easy to kill, Blaise. He's only he's 6 points, so, and he does a lot of benefits, but I rolled terribly there. And fortunately, Mark just rolled a ton of surges, which is good for me actually. So just canning out. I use my Zillo technique to negate the pierce, but he still takes a bit of damage. He moves the other HK up and going to do the same thing, trying to kill Blaise. Oh, and he's weakened as well. Mark rolled a lot better that time, and I rolled the same one block, and takes more damage, leaving him on 2 health. So Blaise is not in a good spot there. Now since I know that he had taken initiative, the card, and I discarded it, so I'm hoping for I draw my own take initiative in the draw, which I think I do. So I can just pop that out and try and activate something, just to try and do an alpha strike on either the Bantha or the HKs, which I play Frosty, which I recommend in every single deck, because the amount of creatures and massives out there is insane at the moment. So use his Bantha to swing at his Tusken, and just does 2 points of damage. And just resolving all the effects, end around effects. Mark had initiatives, but I played take initiative, so I got it back, and I can decide if I want Blaise to try and do one last shot before he dies, but I think it's probably better to try and either do an alpha strike on the HKs or whittle down that Bantha some more. So Mark's pointing out, like, you got basically got 2 choices: either activate Inquisitor and take some swings at the Bantha, or activate Blaise and have a go. But I decided to activate Inquisitor, so take the Bantha, which basically auto cleaves that Tusken and kills him, and does a few more points of damage. Fortunately, being a lightsaber having PS3, Bantha's got no defense, so it's sort of useless. So I guess the Bantha Inquisitor isn't the greatest damage dealer. He's mainly against anything with a black dice. Inquisitor's king with, because they're all 3 blocks, PS3 that away. Right, and then Inquisitor moves. He's very quick, so he just darts out of there, hoping to either forcing the Tusken or the Bantha Rider to move, or to go down the other way and attack 3PO and Gideon and flank those HKs from the back. So he moves up the nexu, or pounces it, and Blaise is gone, and also cleaves 2 on the heavy stormtrooper. Yeah, Blaise didn't do much again that game. He hasn't really performed the way everyone was rating about him. I still think he's good for the points. For his basically his card denial. That's all Blaise is, and I think for his points, I reckon he's spot on, but I think he just needs a couple more health to be really, really good. Move a stormtrooper up, I'd chuck a grenade on that spot. I probably should have put it on the point behind that HK to get the hired gun as well, but I was just too focused on killing HKs, so it does 2 damage and it takes out one of them. And the other guy moves up and has a shot at the HK, see if I can kill him. And I roll awful, but I got my trooper reroll, which I decided to keep. Now reroll now, and takes a few more damage, and he's on 1 health. And the blue trooper takes a shot at the Bantha Rider, then scurries away, like all good troopers should do. Now Mark realised that HK could probably kill that heavy, just so one less shot going onto that nexu or the HK itself. Since he's four more away, he gets +1 block, which that's the first time I've seen it been used, so it'd be nice if all stormtroopers have that. But alright, so throws all of his dice at it, and I only rolled one block, so 2 blocks on total, so does 3 more damage, and leaves the heavy on 1 health. Then decides to move back the HK behind the hired gun, 2 hired guns. Which is good, because if I kill that, the HK's only got 1 health on it. If I kill that one guy, that's 8 victory points right there. So I think it's wise to sort of scurry him away. Now it's my turn, so I decided to activate the red troopers. Go 1 back, so I get that reroll next to the heavy trooper, which I needed. And did 4 damage and kills the Bantha. Which that was a big thing. I didn't remove the stun, so I just take another damage. The other next red trooper rolls, but unfortunately next to rolls a dodge, which half the time they seem to do. Rolled a surge block, which just does the point of damage because he has the cunning ability. That's the red troopers done. That was a pretty good activation by the red troopers. Just need to move that one with the token into the terminal. And Mark's really on the back foot now. Losing that Bantha rider was a very big deal because that was tying up a lot of my force. So he decides to make a last effort to try and attack the stormtrooper. He has to shoot it because he can't move that far enough. Stormtrooper rolls 2 blocks, and he does 1 point of damage. So that stormtrooper still lives. All I've got left is the heavy troopers. So I decide to take a shot at the nexu, and of course it dodges, and I'm just trying to figure out where the terminal is so I can sort of jump on the other side of the nexu, which I do, and take all of his damage with him. And the other trooper takes a pot shot at the Tusken Raider, which rolls 3 defense and does no damage, and then moves up forward. So 3PO moves up, focuses the HK. And Gideon focuses... Actually no, Gideon used my mark on 3PO, and then he focused that hired gun there. Then the other hired gun moves up, trying to kill that poor heavy stormtrooper, and rolls a ton of damage and wipes him off the table. And that focus token was sitting on the hide guns card. We just put it on the table. I told Mark to put it on the table just so it's easier to know what's got to focus on camera. Otherwise, if all the tokens are on the cards, you don't really know what condition what model has. Now it's just going to have a pot shot at that trooper. Try and get some damage out. Roll 3 blocks. And unfortunately, they have no range bonuses for their surges, so missed. And then moves over to the terminal to contest. That's the end of the turn. Everything re-taps. Get some more cards. Mark's in control of all terminals, so he gets 3 cards, I only get 1. I play reinforcements, which brings back that heavy trooper. Not in a very good spot, but it's better using it now than later, because nothing else is really damaged. And initiative goes over to Mark. So it's not looking good for Mark at the moment. All my models are all over the broken droid counters, so there's a big clump of troopers in the middle of the table, which is always a struggle to get through, especially with reinforcement cards. But decides to move 3PO and focuses that HK. Then the trooper sneaks up and takes a sneaky shot at that HK with 1 health and kills him, getting 8 BP. And then the other trooper moves up to contest that terminal. Rolls pretty good. It does 2 damage on the hide gun. Other trooper tries to shoot at the stand trooper, the Tusken Raider, and it just does 1 point of damage, and then jumps over him. That's the red trooper's done, or blue trooper's done. So now it's losing that HK. It's a really uphill battle now. So moves up the trooper, moves up the Tusken Raider to try and take a swing at the trooper, and does no damage. And Mark decides to call it there. I think it'll take a miracle to win the game from here. Like, there's too many troopers on the table, and his 3 most heavy hitting units were gone. So thanks for watching, and thank you for Gatekeeper Games, and make sure to subscribe and check out my Facebook page, and I'll see you in the next battle report.